Hi, I'm Shashank Bhargav, and you're listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. In this episode, we talk about the UP gang rape case and the serious allegations that the victim's family has made against the local police. We also talk about the Samajwadi Party founder Mulayam Singh Yadav passing away. But first, we talk about a controversy that the Aam Aadmi Party finds itself in. Over the past few days, a video involving the Delhi Cabinet Minister Rajendra Pal Gautam has been going viral. The video is of an event that happened last week, where around 10,000 Hindus had gathered to convert to Buddhism. And Gautam was attending this event. And in the video, which is about 40 seconds long, you can hear people recite vows that they will no longer pray to Hindu deities like Vishnu, Shiva, Ram and Krishna.
मैं ब्रह्मा विष्णु और महेश को कभी ईश्वर नहीं मानूंगा और ना ही उनकी पूजा करूंगा। मैं राम और कृष्ण को ईश्वर नहीं मानूंगा और ना ही उनकी कभी।
Now the BJP has been using this clip to target the Aam Aadmi Party and calling it anti-Hindu. In fact, in Gujarat, where the party chief Arvind Kejriwal has been campaigning for the upcoming state elections, banners were put up in several cities terming him anti-Hindu and even showing him wearing a skull cap. But a major development in the matter came on Sunday when Gautam submitted his resignation to the party. In this segment, we talk about this controversy and what it means for the Aam Aadmi Party. But before we do that, let's talk about the vows that we can hear in that video clip. And to talk about that, Indian Express's Yashee Singh joins us. Yashee, could you begin by telling us where do these vows come from?
So it's in a way very funny that suddenly there's this whole controversy around these vows because they have been around for 66 years. It was in 1956 that Ambedkar first recited these vows. On October 15th, 1956, Ambedkar with thousands and thousands of his followers left Hinduism and embraced Buddhism. And that is when he had recited these 22 vows. And regular events have been held. Almost every year such events are held when mainly people from the oppressed castes leave Hinduism and embrace Buddhism. And they recite these 22 vows. But it is only now, 66 years after they were first recited, that suddenly we see this controversy around them.
Okay, so 22 of them in total. Can you go over some of them?
So the clip that is doing the rounds is just the first 3-4, which mention that they will not worship Hindu gods and goddesses. After that, they say things like, I will endeavor to establish equality. I shall believe in the equality of man. I will not steal. I will not tell lies. I will not commit carnal sins. I will not take intoxicants like liquor, drugs, etc. I will endeavor to follow the noble eightfold path and practice compassion and kindness. And it's very easy to find them. You can just Google them and they're everywhere on all Ambedkar-related sites. Essentially, the vows, you can broadly divide them in 3 parts. One is about how the person taking these vows will endeavor to practice equality in their lives going henceforth because they're leaving a religion where they were at the bottom of the social order and they were disadvantaged in every way. They had to face a lot of discrimination and everything. So they will practice to create a more equal social order. Then that they'll lead a virtuous life, not gamble, not lie, not drink, etc. And the vows try to establish a break from their previous religion, which is why they assert that they will not worship Krishna or Gauri or Ganpati and they will not perform Pindadan. Essentially, in a way, taking this pledge that they will not follow the practices that they had been following in their previous religion going henceforth. So that is what they are basically about.
So you mentioned that these vows were first taken by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his followers in 1956. And when Ambedkar had converted to Buddhism, it was seen as a very radical act. So what exactly made him embrace Buddhism and what did he have to say about it?
So when Ambedkar first started talking about converting, and to him actually converting, in between there are 20 years. So it was not like it was a spur of the moment decision. Initially, and Ambedkar in his writings has mentioned that there was a time when he believed that Hinduism could be reformed from inside, which is what Mahatma Gandhi and a whole lot of other social reformers, the Arya Samajis, were talking about. That yes, caste system is evil, yes, caste discrimination is bad, but we can teach Hindus to sort of move beyond it and not practice it in the vicious form that it was being practiced. But Ambedkar slowly grew disillusioned and he realized that the only way for Dalits to get any dignity or any equality was to leave Hinduism altogether, and they would not get it within the religion. which is when he decided that he would have to convert. In 1936, he had been addressing a gathering of Mahars when he had mentioned that if you want respect, you will have to convert. He had said, I tell you very specifically, religion is for man and not man for religion. To get human treatment, convert yourselves. This is what he said in 1936. And then he spent a long time reading about various religions, and he finally zeroed it on Buddhism as the right religion for him. And his reasons for that included, of course, a bit of it was political, because he had been engaged in this long struggle to get separate electorate for Dalits, but that was not happening. So his leaving the religion was also sort of a political protest in response to that, because Mahatma Gandhi was very much against a separate electorate and all of that. And also, Buddhism had its origins within the Indian subcontinent, so it was not as, a foreign religion as Christianity or Islam. And he thought that it was the most rational religion and the religion that most believed in equality, which is why he chose Buddhism. And of course, we know how popular he was. He's still the once tallest Dalit leader that this country has produced. So, of course, he had many followers, and a lot of people followed him on his way out of Hinduism.
Right, and Yashee, could you talk about how the BJP is now viewing these vows and this event?
Yeah, so the controversy that is happening right now is entirely political. It has nothing to do with Ambedkar and his 22 vows. Rajendra Pal Gautam has nothing to do with how the vows were written or who recites those vows. He just happened to be present at an event. The controversy that is running right now and what BJP leaders are saying is that AAP has in some way insulted Hinduism. Nothing could be further from reality, because there are two levels to this. First of all, AAP or any other political party currently has nothing to do with it. The vows, as we have discussed, were written in 1956 by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, whom even BJP, even our Prime Minister, quite often says very good things about. Secondly, the vows in no way insult Hindu gods and goddesses. All they say is, I will not worship Krishna or I will not worship Gauri. And saying that I will not worship someone is in no way equal to insulting that god or saying derogatory words about that god or goddess. As Rajendra Pal Gautam has pointed out, the constitution very much gives everyone the right to practice their own religion, and all these people are saying, everyone who is reciting these vows, all they are saying is, I will not worship XYZ, I will instead be doing ABC. So that is all. And argument can be made that you can get into some other religion without necessarily denouncing your previous religion. But what we need to understand is that in a country like India, Hinduism is also, even it dominates our culture in so many ways, right? So somebody could have converted and still participated in festivals that say their village was celebrating or their neighborhood was celebrating, linked to various gods and goddesses. Which is why Ambedkar had to make this very clear distinction that moving forward, I will burn my bridges with my previous religion. I will not worship whoever, whether it's Krishna or it's Gauri or it's Ganpati. So that is why those vows were included. It was not in any way meant as an insult to any religion. It was just a very clear statement of intent that this is what I'm going to do henceforward in my life.
But despite this reasoning, the BJP has framed this event and these vows as anti-Hindu. And it has done so at a time when the Aam Aadmi Party has been looking to capture Hindu votes in Gujarat. We now speak to Indian Express's Mallica Joshi about the situation that the Aam Aadmi Party finds itself in. Mallica, Rajendra Pal Gautam, of course, has now resigned. But before that happened, what was the Aam Aadmi Party's initial reaction to the video and the targeting by the BJP?
So, Shashank, as soon as the BJP leaders started sharing their clippings from the video, Rajendra Pal Gautam actually was the first one to react. He spoke to a couple of news channels where he basically blamed the BJP leaders for the entire controversy, saying that they had taken the video clip out of context and mentioning that the vows or the pledge being taken over there were the 22 vows that were first taken by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in 1956. So he was actually in an attacking mode where he attacked the BJP for trying to create an issue out of an event that happens every year and which happens across the country. Many people, especially on Dashera, convert to Buddhism, they take these vows. That was his initial stance. Some sources have told us that after the first two of those short interviews that he had given to news channels, they broadcast, the party got in touch with him asking him to not give any more statements. The Aam Aadmi Party and the Delhi government, in fact, have not reacted officially on the whole issue till now. The Chief Minister has not said anything. There has not been an official statement from the party or from the government.
Yeah, but when you spoke to some of your sources, for example, they told you that the top leadership and Kejriwal were not happy about this, right?
Yeah, that is the initial sense that when we spoke to people, they all told us that he was a little angry about the whole thing and how it had played out. So that was there, but there was no indication of what the party's next step was going to be. So from what I hear, there was a meeting in the last couple of days where the senior leaders of the party, as well as Mr. Gautam, was present, where the whole issue was discussed. Whether he should resign or not was also discussed. Some party officials, party sources have told us that Mr. Kejriwal, the CM, was not the one who really demanded his resignation. And when we read Mr. Gautam's resignation letter, we also see that nowhere in that letter has he blamed the party or the CM for whatever has happened and how the thing has played out over the past 2-3 days. In fact, he has said that I am resigning because this is something that is hurting the party because of me. But he has not apologized for either being part of the event or saying or repeating those vows. He has steadfastly maintained that he is not against any religion. He is a very religious person and he respects all religions.
And Mallica, what would you say was the reason that Gautam gave his resignation as far as AAP's political strategy is concerned?
I think because the controversy was not dying down. In Gujarat, you saw the impact. You had posters all across Gujarat calling AAP and Mr. Kejriwal anti-Hindu. Some showed him wearing a skull cap. And it's something that was, being talked about in Gujarat. And Aam Aadmi Party has gone all out for the Gujarat polls. Mr. Kejriwal is there almost like at least twice or thrice a week. He addresses several public gatherings, attends several events. So it is in light of how its campaign in Gujarat, more than anything else, that they seem to have taken this decision so as to not alienate the Hindu voter.
Yeah, and talking about the elections in Gujarat, the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to reach out to the Dalit voters in the state. So considering that, what kind of position does AAP find itself in?
The Aam Aadmi Party has found itself in a very tricky position because, with the elections in Gujarat, they have also been attending various events with the Dalit community. In fact, last month itself, one sanitation worker and his family had visited Mr. Kejriwal in his home and had lunch with him. So it comes amidst this whole Dalit outreach. So to say that what Mr. Rajendra Pal Gautam did was wrong or that the party apologizes for it would also amount to alienating the Dalit voter. And the second problem then is that the BJP has tried to, and for a very long time now, paint Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Kejriwal as anti-Hindu. And, it was the sustained campaign by BJP leaders that actually led to where we are today, where Mr. Gautam has given his resignation. So the party has found it very difficult to balance both positions. And again, in Himachal also, the population of the scheduled caste is around 25%. So that again is going to land them in a tricky position if they take a very strong stance on the event or Mr. Gautam's actions.
Yeah, and because of how the BJP has framed it, if the Aam Aadmi Party says anything positive about the event, then it comes off as anti-Hindu, and if it says anything against it, then it will be criticized for being anti-Dalit. But now with Gautam having resigned, does this change the situation in any way? Does it lean more towards one side than the other?
It still remains tricky, I believe, because Mr. Gautam's resignation, from what we hear, has not been accepted so far. There has been no word on whether the party is looking for a new social justice minister. Is there going to be a new cabinet? Is there going to be someone new joining the Delhi government's cabinet? Again, there has been no official statement from the party or from the government still. So the party just wants this to sort of blow over the whole controversy so that they don't have to take a particular stance. And I think they found with Mr. Gautam's resignation and the way it was worded, I believe they think they have found a balance where he doesn't blame the party or the chief minister. He puts the blame squarely on BJP, and in his letter he says that this is propaganda that the BJP has put out.
A quick warning, this segment contains descriptions of rape and suicide. Last month, a 13-year-old girl in UP was allegedly abducted and gang-raped by two people. This happened in the Ambedkar Nagar district of the state. Now, after more than 15 days, the girl has died by suicide. and her family alleges that she took this step because the police allegedly did not take any action in the matter. In this segment, we speak to Indian Express's Asad Rehman about this case and what the girl's family alleges. Asad, could you begin by talking about what happened to this girl in question and who were the people involved in the matter?
So this 13-year-old girl in Ambedkar Nagar district of Uttar Pradesh was abducted when she was going to her school on the morning of September 16th. And the parents of the family lodged a complaint with the police that the girl has been abducted. And then 2 days later, on September 18th, the girl returned home after somehow managing to escape from her kidnappers. And she came back home and told the family that she was taken to a hotel in Lucknow from Ambedkar Nagar in a car, and that she was gang raped over there by two unidentified people. Then the family lodged a complaint with the local police station saying that the girl has been raped by two unidentified people, and the police started the investigation, or that is what they say.
Right, and now we understand that last week she died by suicide, and her family says that she did this due to police inaction because the police did not do enough to investigate this case. So talk about these allegations.
So the family says that despite them lodging multiple complaints on different levels of the police hierarchy, the investigation in the case didn't move forward and no arrests were made. This girl, 2 days before committing suicide on October 5th, she had told police officer who had come to her house that if no one is arrested in the coming days, I will commit suicide. Despite that, no arrests were made, and on October 5, she committed suicide at her house. And after that, the Ambedkar Nagar police swung into action and took the case more seriously and made arrests the same day after the girl had committed suicide.
And who were the people that they arrested then?
The two people who were arrested on the first day were, one was a person who was known to the family, a 35-year-old man, and the other was the girl's aunt herself. The family alleges that the girl had come back and told them that these two were the ones who conspired to get her abducted, this 35-year-old man and the aunt. Now, despite the father of the girl writing in his complaint submitted to the police officers on September 18th, after she returned, they had named these two people in their complaint. Now, despite that, these two people were arrested only after the girl committed suicide. So that shows a lapse in the investigation. And the senior police officers, the district police leadership, then suspended one police officer and removed the local SHO from his post after the girl committed suicide.
And Asad, you spoke to the father of the girl, and he told you that he was actually abused and mistreated by the police, right?
So the girl's father has some very serious allegations against the district police. He says that the superintendent of police of Ambedkar Nagar, Ajit Kumar Sinha, misbehaved with him when he went with his daughter to him to complain about the case not being taken seriously. He says that instead of hearing his complaint, the police officer, who's the top police officer in the district, Ajit Kumar Sinha, misbehaved with him and abused him. Whereas the superintendent of police, Ajit Kumar Sinha, has denied this allegation and has said that he did not misbehave with the father or the girl. And the father says that after he was abused and misbehaved with, the girl cried outside the office, and that is where she really lost hope of any justice being done in this case, and hence a few days later she committed suicide.
Okay, so you mentioned that the police arrested the two people who were allegedly involved in the abduction of the girl. But have the police been able to take any action against those men who allegedly raped her?
On Friday, police arrested these two men, one of them from Ambedkar Nagar and the other one from Lakhimpur Kheri. And as per the police, the two accused who've been arrested for the gang rape knew the one person who was arrested earlier. And these two people who've been arrested on Friday were the ones who allegedly gang raped the girl and kidnapped her and took her to Lucknow and gang raped her at a hotel there. Police have also recovered their Aadhaar card from the hotel's record and have also questioning them to understand their motive and more specific details as to how the crime was committed. And the investigation is still ongoing because there are some aspects of the crime which have still not been explained by the police. So the investigation is ongoing and all the accused are being questioned by the police.
And in the end, we talk about Mulayam Singh Yadav. Yesterday, at the age of 82, Samajwadi Party founder Mulayam Singh Yadav passed away while undergoing treatment at the Medanta Hospital in Gurgaon. Yadav's condition had been quite critical for the past few weeks, and he was on life-saving drugs. Soon after learning about his death, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to him, saying that he was widely admired as a humble and grounded leader who was sensitive to people's problems. The Prime Minister also added that Yadav served people diligently and devoted his life towards popularizing ideals of Jai Prakash Narayan and Ram Manohar Lohia. Meanwhile, condolences also poured in from leaders from across the parties, including Amit Shah, Mayawati, Rahul Gandhi and Supriya Sule. Popularly known as Netaji in political circles, Mulayam Singh Yadav was a 3-term Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh who was elected to the State Assembly 8 times and to Parliament 7 times. Belonging to the Sefai village of Etawah district, Mulayam first entered mainstream politics at the young age of 28. Over time, his personal political journey came to be very closely linked with UP's political history. He is now survived by Akhilesh, his son from his first wife Malti Devi, Prateek, a son from his second wife Sadhna Gupta, and grandchildren apart from his brothers. In tomorrow's episode, we will take a deeper look at his career and talk about how he changed UP politics forever. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was written and produced by me, Shashank Bhargav, and was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it, share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can tweet us at Express Podcast and write to us at podcast@indianexpress.com.